So let's talk about today, NFP Friday for the month of April. And I had a red day today, even though I was completely correct on where price eventually was going to go. And these days are frustrating because generally when you get direction right, but yet you still ended up with a red day, it's because something in your execution was just off, incorrect, early, impatient, basically any of those or all the above. And for me, that was definitely the case today. Really quick, let me show you guys the thoughts and the trades today. And obviously, I'll include the recap from today's session after this. But just looking at the price for today, I wanted to see price just continue pushing lower. Obviously, we've been extremely bearish. And when we saw price trade up this morning into this 1 hour fair value gap, taking out these internal intermediate highs and then starting to push away, I was very interested in just continuing to trade this to the downside. We did not have any manipulation at the lows with ES. We did not have any SMT divergences or anything like that, just relative equal lows. And to me, no reason to go higher yet and just continue playing order flow to the downside. So looking here, this is the hourly chart. I ultimately, seeing how this now has formed, I ended up shorting virtually just too early. So I was trying to get short in this wick as the 9 a.m. candle was coming back and closing. I was positioned in this lower wick trying to still push for short. And that's really ultimately what did me in is I was just early. I was early to the shorts, which is what caused me to take a loss. If I show you guys the 2-minute time frame, this is really where the short was kind of framed off of. This 2-minute order block here. I remember sifting through the time frames trying to find a clean setup for shorts. I didn't think the 1 minute looked very clean. The 5 minute definitely did not look clean at that time. The 5 minute basically looked like this. So we had this little doji candle here, and so the 5 minute looked a little bit clunky and messy and just not very clean. And the 2 minute just seemed like the best time frame to be going off of. So I mark out this 2-minute order block as kind of like my overarching validation level, if you will, for shorts. So ultimately what ended up happening is I ended up taking a short in here off of a 30-second chart. And generally when I'm dropping down to a seconds time frame, generally that's an indication that I'm being kind of impatient. And when you're impatient, you tend to take losses in the markets. That's kind of how it works. But then going here to the 1 minute, the second trade that I took was interesting because to me, it did give everything that I wanted to see from a price perspective. But again, I was still early from a time perspective, and I'll show you guys why. So I'm looking at this inversion here that pushed price from this fair value gap and bullish breaker on the 1 minute higher to a new high here. We still were respecting first presentation fair value gap, and I'm just explaining to you guys the logic of why I pressed the button, so it doesn't just seem like I'm just taking trades like willy-nilly. But so when we got this inversion here, and we start to trade back up into this inversion, we have another fair value gap here, obviously, right? And I entered short off of the retest of this inversion and these this down close candle here, or I'm sorry, up close candle, and my stop was above this high here. We run this high out one more time. We do not invalidate that 2-minute order block, which would be this high here, and ultimately we trade away. Now, all hope was not lost yet because I did not flip and go long. I kept saying on the chat or to the chat that the shorts are not invalidated yet really until this high is taken. And if I'm just being totally honest, like the ranges were pretty big today. And I think part of it as well, like why I didn't put my stop just like if my invalidation level is here, why didn't I just put my stop there? That's a fair question. And I think just psychologically, I did not like the idea of like this stop loss being this big. So anyway, kind of a cop-out answer, but I think that's just me being honest. And yeah, as price sells away here to the downside, I think this is where I fucked up. So I ended up missing Ended up missing the short, even though I was trying to catch the short from here to the external low here. So I was on the 2-minute time frame again. Again, the 2-minute chart just was kind of the cleanest for me today, in my opinion. And what I did is I had marked out this range here to this low. So I just set a limit order on the body of this 2-minute order block, thinking that, I'm still front running this a little bit, because if we pull back into premium of the range equilibrium, like, I'm going to get tagged in. I'm going to get filled right here without missing the move, right? So I set a limit order here. And if you guys were obviously on stream and watching, I mean, you saw price come very close to filling my order. My stop loss was going here, by the way, above this swing high here. And this was going to be the trade. Like I said, did not fill me, and then ended up pushing away. You guys can obviously see this fair value gap here that we did tap into, but I also am realizing now that I drew in my premium and discount incorrectly. I should have been using this dealing range here, because this new high led to new lows here, right? So the new range is from this high to this low. So I drew that dealing range in incorrectly. Therefore, we did actually hit equilibrium of this range. In this fair value gap, we did also tap the wick of this OB. So essentially, I was just being maybe a little too picky, a little bit too precise. And honestly, the reasoning for that also, I've noticed that it's a tendency that I have, that I get even more picky when I've taken a couple of paper cuts. You know what I mean? So like I took an L trying to short this already up in here. So generally, just like psychologically, I've just noticed that I tend to start, like, I start to want to get really precise on my entry, and like try to get little to no drawdown on the last trade, or the next trade, I should say. And it cost me today, right? Like, in the grand scheme of things, entering here versus entering here, entering this fair value gap versus entering on the body of this candle, like, is it really a big difference? Obviously not. It's just like from this fair value gap to where my limit was. It is a lot of points just because of how volatile we were. Obviously, most people, I would assume, were sized down trading micros. So, like, in the grand scheme of things, like, this is not a big difference, So it's a little frustrating from my perspective, like, knowing, like, would it really have made that big of a deal for me personally if I would have shorted here versus like demanding that we get here? Obviously, probably not. And it cost me catching on a really nice trade, and a trade that I was trying to catch all morning, right? Like, this was the move that I wanted. This is the trade that I framed, and it worked out. I just, somehow, because of my poor performance and execution, it led to me missing this move, and also, taking a couple small paper cuts in the middle. So frustrating. Days like this tend to happen from time to time. And it's just part of the process, part of the game. You're not going to be perfect all the time. You're not going to be on your A game all the time. You're not going to, perform to your potential all the time either. And that was definitely the case for me today. Like I said, I will include the recap so you can see the executions and the thought process, real live price in real time on stream this morning. But yeah, ultimately, just disappointed. Not going to get emotional, go on tilt, try to revenge trade anymore today. That is something that I've gotten much, much better at over the years, is, knowing that when my objective is truly met for the day, like, you're done. Either you caught that move or you didn't. Like, you had your chance, you had your opportunity, either you caught it or you missed it. And you have to just learn that when that happens, once the objective is met, you just get off the charts. You got to get off the charts, because now you're just kind of guessing. You're right. You don't really know. You got to wait for more information. And if you find yourself trying to trade after that fact out of FOMO and revenge or whatever, it just always ends poorly. It really does. So that's that, guys. Hopefully some of you guys were able to capitalize on this move. Obviously, I feel like the bias is pretty fucking simple. We're all pretty bearish. Markets are just dying right now. So it is what it is, guys. I'll leave it at that. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. And yeah, enjoy the recap. Yo, good morning, guys. Good morning. Happy Friday, April 4th, 2025. Good morning, guys. Welcome in, welcome in. Like the stream on your way in if you would be ever so kind. I do appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen. It's not looking great, boys. It's not looking great. We're off like, what, like 20% almost, probably off the all-time highs? Maybe more? Let's see. Yeah, 20%-ish right now. Decent level to be adding to some long-term portfolios in all honesty. So I should probably be doing that today as well, maybe adding some more positions. If we just go lower, it's you know, external low. Obviously, you could use projections. It's really gonna have to be all you can depend on, really. Market just opened up here a few minutes ago, guys. Yeah, we should be safe, honestly, to take it to the recent low without worrying about, like, you know, the price limit rule. We are seeing price hold and respect all these bearish fair value gaps here in this leg. Here's 935. There's no like, yeah, there's no like 15-minute gaps or anything in here like holding this, like the reason this would stop this from going lower. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see if we can leave. I'll just try to do institutional order flow entry drill here. If we keep selling off, just wait for a pullback into a gap and sell the bloody piss out of it. Not really a whole lot of rocket science going on here today. Not really like this. Kind of immediate rebalance here. I really don't want to drop down to the seconds charts. Not really a whole lot there either. Still early. But yeah, looking like we want to make a move for the external low if I don't say so myself. Can it really be this easy, boys and girls? Can it really be as easy as just frickin' open up your chart and hit the sell button? Away we're going here. I dropped down to the 30-second chart. I may give this a try. I'm not in this yet. It's kind of running away. I didn't have my correct limit orders or contract amount. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready, Tyler. Come on. Yo, no, I'm out. No. I clicked that on accident. I did not mean to enter that. I hit my trackpad. I was hovering over the sell button. I'm waiting to see if we can get this pullback back into this gap. I'll take it. There we go. All right, guys, I'm going to give this a try. I did not get an entry on the top step X accounts. Yeah, I dropped down to the 30-second because it looked like we're respecting every fair value gap and pushing away lower. Yeah, I'm not in on top step X. I didn't grab an entry. Just this trade evade account for now. Might get left. New 15-minute candle here. Awfully aggressive here on this pullback, ain't it? I didn't enter on top step X because I didn't like how fast that pulled back. I'm waiting to see if that can hold. If it can, I'll hop in. Yeah, all right. It ran me out of that. Minus 595. Hitting this 2-minute OB. Yeah, this is fast though. In this new 15-minute candle, we're straight up here. Yeah, basically this 30-second gap that I played short, and it gave us a new low, but that was it. It gave us this low. And then right back up. Fuck. Maybe. We got a 5-minute gap here on ES. Macro starts in 2 minutes. Well, the selling works until I try to sell it. Fuckers. At least I didn't copy it on all my accounts. Let's see here. Getting back towards first presented fair value gap here. 930, 830 open. I'll replay this. I'm gonna replay this move if we can get this inversion. Big stop. Be careful with your size, boys and girls. Alright. I am in. Holy fuck, bro. You shitting me? These candles are fast and furious. I feel like Paul Walker right now and I'm about to hit a tree. RIP. I don't know. My top step X chart is still not hit it yet. It's frozen, it looks like. Can I just close this? I guess I can. Close that. All right. 0-2 today. Trying to short this fucking market. So I'm down 150 on my top step X accounts. That's not bad. I'm down like 1,000 now on this trade evade account for the day. Yeah, my top step X chart is frozen right now. It kind of worked out in my benefit there because it didn't hit my full stop. Okay, here it's back. It didn't hit my full stop out. I'll take it, I guess. I don't know. No, isn't it funny? Just like you take a trade and it loses, and just like 10 minutes later, you can just see price. You're just like, wow. Be my Victoria's Secret. All right, I'm putting a sell limit right here. Last attempt for me. If this just dies without me, bro, I'm going to be sad. I'm internally talking to the market gods, asking them to not run this away without me. Yeah, who went long? What the fuck are you guys thinking? I told you! I'm gonna be like some of my friends and family. They might be years off on their predictions, but when they eventually are right, they'll come back and say, "Told you so." I'm gonna be like that today with Nasdaq. Yeah, guys, I was 10 to 15 minutes early, but told you. This breaker looks good. Joy to the world. The day has come. All right. Lowered the size a little bit more. Moved my entry down to this breaker. I did not go through all this BS today. Did not catch this move. Fucking A. Come grab me, please. Grab me like my uncle at my 5-year birthday party. Thank you. I can tell you guys, if this does run away without me, I'm not going to chase it. You know, I'll be right on my bias, right on direction, wrong on my executions. That's how trading goes. But I can tell you where I know, like, I'm going to look back and I'm going to just know that I messed up, because it all started with me dropping down to the seconds chart and then trying to take this early, right? Like 942. In retrospect, that was unnecessary. You know, this 2-minute was as I was kind of just flipping through the time frames here, this 2-minute really was the cleanest. And like, if your entry was this off this 2-minute OB and you just put your stop at the high here, I mean, you're golden, right? Like, yeah, a lot of drawdown here. You're like, oh, fuck. And then here you are holding out, looking like a freaking champ. So, yeah, that's still 100% my bad. Unfortunate, but my bad. We'll see. Not all hope is lost, though. But yeah, I just want these this external low here, and if I can get it, great. If not, that's the day for me. At least I didn't do something really stupid and flip and go long. I know I've got a good amount of drawdown on this account, KG. Like 5-6 grand. But this is a trade of 150K. This is not a 50K. My 50Ks are on Top Step X. I'm copy trading those. My first past XFA? No, I blew that. No, God, no. I blew that. I told you guys that story. My first two, actually. My first two accounts were a 150K and a 100K. And both of them were up like 6 grand in profit, and I gave both of them back without taking a payout. Very sad. Yeah, that's why I learned you can't treat your XFAs. Well, I mean, I also was I could have been a little bit more careful with those accounts as well, but yeah, no, I think you should pay yourself. Pains in long? Why? Don't do it. I'm just kidding. You can do it if you want. The Bears need their liquidity too. Really, dude? You gonna come that close and not grab my entry? 8 points off. But yeah, the reason I used the body was premium and discount. Even my sell limit was below 50% of this leg. And this is one big imbalance here, 3 and 5 minute. But yeah, perfect wick tap here. Shoot. That's the only downfall about trying to be really precise, is sometimes this happens. See if it's I mean, once we trade through this low, it's probably all but gone. Well, anyway, the only thing that you should be taking away from watching me right now with this particular move at this particular moment, with my current circumstance being not in this, is simply that I'm not chasing this. And I don't care if chasing it would have meant I could have caught a move from here to here. It doesn't matter. It's a bad habit. And you know it's a bad habit, so keep your cherry picking asses out of the comment section, please. Thank you. ES is about to run out this low, though. That is noteworthy. If you guys are short, don't let me maybe... I'm not in the trade, so I've got no skin in the game. However, if I was in this trade, I would consider closing the full position. I would at least at a minimum be taking most of the position off. If ICT or if ES trades to this level, creating an SMT divergence, which it is looking like it will. There you go. Let's see if there's any follow through on NASDAQ now. So, canceling the limits. I missed this trade. It missed me by 7-8 points. Awfully disappointing. Awfully disappointing, especially considering this is the move I was literally trying to catch all morning.